Let's move on. Let's do this FBI story real quick. This is a dark one, but
Oh shit.
then we'll do some questions and get out of here. But I promise it. And I want to share two videos here from gymnasts testifying at the Larry Nassar hearings. And Larry Nassar's already got serving, I guess, the equivalent of a life sentence. So the focus now is on the cover-up or the lack of action by the FBI. Here is the gymnast, Michaela Maroney. You might remember her. Remember that facial expression? She got it went sort of viral like that. I can't remember how to do it. She's a very famous girl. She was one of Nassar's victims, and indeed reported it. And she had this to say in front of Congress here.
Of waiting for tired of waiting for people to do the right thing, because my abuse was enough and we deserve justice. These individuals clearly violated policies and were negligent in executing their duties, and in doing so, more girls were abused by Larry Nassar for over a year. To not indict these agents is a disservice to me and my teammates. It is a disservice to the system, which was built to protect all of us from abuse. It was a disservice to every victim who suffered needlessly at the hands of Larry Nassar after I spoke up. Why are public servants whose job is to protect getting away with this? This is not justice. Enough is enough. Today, I ask you all to hear my voice. I ask you, please do all that is in your power to ensure that these individuals are held responsible and accountable for ignoring my initial report, for lying about my initial report, and for covering up for a child molester.
Yeah. Here's another one. Olympic gymnast Allie Raceman, who's another one of Nassar's victims.
Quietly allowed Nassar to slip out the side door, knowingly allowing him to continue his work at MSU, Sparrow Hospital, a USAG club, and even run for school board. Nassar found more than 100 new victims to molest. It was like serving innocent children up to a pedophile on a silver platter. We cannot believe that there's a safer future for children unless we fully understand every single thing that happened. And USA Gymnastics does say that they've done investigations, but those were not completely independent, and the scope of the investigation matters. Nobody should be off limits. Nothing should be off limits. It should go back decades, and that has not been done, and it's been something that we've been asking for years and years. And so I personally would like to see all three organizations completely investigated, and the scope of it matters, because until we know all the facts, it's just guesswork. And I hope you guys feel the same way about, as I do, that if we're thinking about children going into gymnastics or sports, I don't want to be guessing that they're going to be okay. I want to know with 100% certainty that somebody that looked the other way for us isn't still in a position of power. And so I think the investigation is crucial. And until that, I don't have any faith that things will get better in the sport.
She continues on like that. Also, Simone Biles says, to be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, but I also blame the entire system that enabled and perpetuated his abuse, Biles said. This article, Biles and her teammates ripped the FBI for botching Nassar abuse case in the New York Times. Has some more details about that Maroney speaking out in 2015. In 2015, when Maroney was 19, and before she had even told her mother what Nassar had done, she described her abuse to an FBI agent during a 3-hour phone call from the floor of her bedroom. When she was finished, Maroney said the agent asked, "Is that all?" She said she felt crushed by the lack of empathy. Not only did the FBI not report my abuse, but when they eventually documented my report 17 months later, they made entirely false claims about what I said, Maroney testified. They chose to lie about what I said to protect a serial child molester rather than to protect not only me but countless others. Now, this New York Times article describes the FBI's response to this. As a remarkable turn, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, acknowledged the agency's mishandling of the case and apologized to the victims. Wray said, he said the FBI had fired an agent who was involved in the case early, the one who interviewed Maroney. It was the first time anyone in the agency had submitted to public questioning. Anyway, Wray, who had become FBI director in 2017, said he was heartsick and furious when he had heard the FBI had made so many errors in the case before he took charge of the agency. I'm so sorry that so many people let you down again and again, Wray said to the victims. I'm especially sorry that there are people in the FBI who had their own chance to stop this monster back in 2015 and failed. FBI agents are very aware of the language they're using and when they deploy it. It's not emotional, it's strategic. So when he uses this term monster, he's trying to dehumanize this and otherize it as not part of the same system that like that is just a guy that, yeah, he's a medical trainer. He's not a monster. He's a medical trainer for a powerful organization that you covered up for. And 2015 failed, and that isn't excusable. It shouldn't. It isn't excusable. But all I'm going to do is apologize for it. It's not It's not excusable. But I'm going to apologize for it, and that's all it's going to be. So I'm going to anyway. It should never have happened. I mean, I'll fucking say. And we are doing everything in our power to make sure it never happens again. Wray said that one of the agents initially involved in the case, Michael Langman, was fired 2 weeks ago. Fired, not investigated, for criminal negligence that led to dozens and dozens, up to hundreds of assaults. Back in 2015, Michael Langman was fired 2 weeks ago. When asked why the case was mishandled in the first place, Wray said the agents had made many basic mistakes that clashed with how the FBI usually conducts investigations. What are these basic mistakes? Don't investigate a powerful organization? Yeah. I don't have a good explanation for you. Oh, interesting. So I apologize, but I don't have a good explanation for you, Wray said later, adding, on no planet is what happened in this case acceptable. Again, I'm not going to do anything about it. Wray said that as a result of we'll fire a guy. As a result of the Nassar case, the FBI had strengthened its policies. The don't let a powerful organization off if it's harboring a child rapist policy maybe was updated. Procedures, I'll get those procedures up to scale about not ignoring a child when she's alleging Olympic trainer. Systems and training. Oh, the training. This is a training. I missed that day in the FBI training where after a girl accuses a coach of a very powerful organization of molesting children, I say, is that it? And then bury it for 17 months. Good thing training's going to address that, including emphasizing that agents report abuse cases to state and local law enforcement. He promised that steps in the future investigations would be quadruple checked so that there was not a single point of failure. And Leahy, a Democrat in Virginia, said the wrong answers would not provide any solace to gymnasts. And I think this quote is the one I would end with. A whole lot of people should be in prison. And I wonder if we are the type of country that can imprison FBI agents who covered something like this up. I don't think we are, unfortunately, and it's sad to say.
It would be a good thing, and I think, keep bringing that fire against them though, because it's clear as day. And talk about this case with your family and friends, because we need to get that FBI approval rating down. I got a little bit too far up there, especially post. I haven't seen post Jan 6 to name that specifically, but these are bad people doing bad things. We talked about it last week with Terry Albury. And we talked about it with Chip Gibbons. The FBI is not any better than it used to be. And honestly, more and more you're starting to see that kind of rogue agency feel with them. And not that it hasn't always been the case, but this is a question of personal safety for folks. But it is most definitely also a question of democracy. We shouldn't be empowering people to have special rights and abilities over the rest of us who constantly are abusing them and fail to protect people.
And, speaking of the rogue agency thing, if you have Hillary supporters that are all of a sudden FBI people, they have missed some big lessons themselves because of the James Comey letter right before the election. So, Comey and Mueller, man, those fuckers got rehabilitated. Two of the guys in the entrap Muslim
Insane.
Teenagers squad, and now they're the heroes of resisting fascism.